The numbers are in, and the competition has officially ended. The March Madness 2025 tournament is complete.
Hi, and welcome to the final wrap-up of March Madness. I'm Chuck Lionberger, and joining me again is Sarah Baer, our supervisor of math and your March Madness tournament director. All right, Sarah, you just heard from our referee, Dr. Ken Nicely. March Madness 2025 is now a solved equation.
Indeed it is, and what an exponential success it was. Before we announce our final winners, we have some prime news to share. Last year, after 4 weeks of competition, our students completed more than 142,000 total proficiencies. Remember, throughout this competition, students completed math exercises, and these are called proficiencies. And each successful proficiency was worth 1 point. But this year, our students didn't just raise the bar, they multiplied their efforts, and in just 3 weeks, they have successfully completed over 170,000 proficiencies.
Sarah, that's an absolutely acute achievement, more than 170,000. All right, let's do the math on this. It averages to nearly 57,000 proficiencies completed district-wide each week, or more than 2,000 per school each week. That's such a big sum, and this will incredibly work to give our students an edge as they factor in their preparation for the upcoming Math SOL tests.
Absolutely. We knew that making math practice fun with the March Madness tournament would be a calculated way to encourage students to sharpen their skills. And none of this would have been possible without our amazing math teachers. They're the real MVPs, most valuable problem solvers. So a huge shout out to them for making this year's tournament add up to a huge success.
Yeah, Sarah, it was such a great tournament. But now it's time to divide and conquer as we determine which of our 4 teams will take home that most proficient team trophy. Sarah, will it be last year's winners, the Duncan Denominators? What about the Guardians of Geometry? Did they angle their way to the top? Could the Number Ninjas subtract the competition and reclaim the lead that they held back in week 1? Or did our week 2 leaders, the Fractions of Fury, reduce the margins and take the title? Sarah, it's time to announce our winner, and for that, let's calculate our final answer with our tournament director, Dr. Ken Nicely.
Thanks, Chuck and Sarah the Math Lady. Before I announce the team winner, I want to sum up what an incredible effort this was. More than 170,000 proficiencies completed. Talk about raising the power of math. But only one team could stay ahead of the curve, and the 2025 most proficient team is the Number Ninjas. Congratulations to the Number Ninjas for adding up to the top.
Well, Sarah, there you have it. The Number Ninjas are your 2025 March Madness most proficient team. I'm gonna tell you what, this was a close call between the Number Ninjas and the Fractions of Fury.
It really was. The Number Ninjas ended with an average of 7.51 proficiencies per student, while the Fractions of Fury weren't far behind at 6.41.
Yeah, these 2 teams were locked in a mathematical tug of war each week, but the Number Ninjas had just the right formula for victory. So now let's hear from their head coach, Kim Bradshaw.
Congratulations, team. I am so very proud of you. Way to go. You crunched those numbers, you did your best, and you ended up on top. Way to go. Congratulations again.
Thanks, Coach Bradshaw. Rounding out the competition, the Guardians of Geometry landed in 3rd place, while last year's winners, the Duncan Denominators, ended in 4th. All right, Sarah, our calculations aren't done yet. It's time to award the most proficient school trophy.
That's right. Let's turn it back over to our tournament referee for the big reveal.
Thanks, Sarah and Chuck. This was another tight race, and 4 schools were constantly plotting their course to the top. But in the end, one school held on to 1st place from start to finish. Our 2025 most proficient school is Fort Lewis Elementary. Congratulations, Fort Lewis. You really raised the power of math.
Well, there you have it. Fort Lewis Elementary takes home the most proficient school trophy.
They held on to their lead from week 1 and didn't skip a beat, finishing with an impressive 18.90 average score. Last year's champs, Penn Forest Elementary, put up a great fight but ended in 2nd, followed by Herman L. Horn Elementary and Masons Cove Elementary.
Yeah, congratulations to Fort Lewis. Okay, rounding out the top 10 are Mount Pleasant Elementary, Glen Cove Elementary, Bonsack Elementary, Mountain View Elementary, Back Creek Elementary, and Clearbrook Elementary. And now let's hear from Fort Lewis Elementary, our most proficient school winner.
Congratulations, Fort Lewis. We're small but mighty.
Thank you to all the teachers and students who worked so hard to make this happen.
We can't hide our lion pride.
But Sarah, we still have some more math magic to celebrate.
Right. We want to give a special shout out to some individual award winners. First, a huge congrats to Miss Penio's class at Herman L. Horn Elementary. Her students completed the most proficiencies of any single classroom and have earned themselves a pizza party, courtesy of IXL. And speaking of IXL, we want to give a huge thanks to them for their continued support in making this tournament possible. They've been a fantastic partner, providing prizes and motivation for our students.
Yeah, a huge thank you to IXL. And Sarah, get ready, because we're already solving for X for next year's tournament equation. Planning for the 2026 March MATHness tournament is already underway, so stay tuned. Well, Sarah, we've reached the final answer for this year's tournament. Let's give one more round of applause to our 2025 champions, the Number Ninjas and Fort Lewis Elementary. Look, we hope you have enjoyed this year's March MATHness. I know we certainly did. Good luck on your SOL test next month, and remember to keep your math skills sharp, because practice makes perpendicular. We'll see you next year.